Hello, folks. I'm going to go through and try to explain a few parts of the ping pong ball cannon lab that we went through just yesterday. Try to clarify some of the things that we did, right? With some of these labs, the first lab of a unit, or with some labs at least, we try to collect data and figure out how the world works from the data and the graphs that we get. So, to make sure that as a group here, we have some understanding of what's going on. We'll try to clear up some of these things. So this line, this straight line, this curve fit runs through, or doesn't run through, it includes all of our data. It runs through a few points here and there, and it misses some others. As the assignment asks around question 10 or so, we can start to unclick some data points. If we unclick some of the data points towards the end, then we're saying, hey, don't run the line through those. And as I remove these points, um, we can see that with these points, it goes through some, it misses others. But if I start removing these points towards the end, the line starts to hit more and more of the data points. At removing this point, it's going through just about every single one of them. Now it hits every one of these data points pretty darn nicely. This one misses a smidge. So that tells us that something happened in this region. And that's probably the time at which the ping pong ball hit the can. So we've got these points where the line now goes through it perfectly. These data points still exist. We're not saying that that data didn't happen or that that data is wrong. We're just saying, hey, we're going to analyze this part first. And if I analyze this part, just looking at that, I can look at the curve, and this is kind of like our y-axis, and then that's our x-axis. This is our y-intercept, and this is our slope. I know in Minnesota we tend to say y equals mx plus b. Apparently in other parts of the US they will say y equals ax plus b. And so the authors of this website chose that format for the equation for the slope intercept form. So a is our slope, and that means that when we ignore the data after the can, not because it's bad, but because it's separate and different. So we'll look at that later. If we just look at the part where the data goes from the ping pong ball cannon to the can, then our slope is this 2.013 e plus 4, or the e plus 4 means that we should sling that decimal 4 spots to our right. Our slope is now 20130 centimeters per second. So the slope now, 2,000, or pardon me, 20,130. That's moving a decimal point from here to the right 4 spots, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's what this E plus 4 means. That just means that this decimal spot, if we want to write out in a different format, is slid all the way over. Written this way, it's called scientific notation. It's something that we'll focus on much later in our high school careers. So that is the slope of the line for the ping pong ball before it hits the can. And our y-intercept is this number, which is holy stinking small, right? Some of you might have had small negative numbers here. Some of you might have had small positive numbers here. Some of your numbers might not be 0.000. They might be just, but everybody will have slightly different numbers depending on the data that they collect, right? So you might not have 20,130. You might have a different number here. But this is the slope of that ball before it hit the can.